Hey kids, welcome to church. Today we're talking about covenants.
What is a covenant?
Normally when we think of a covenant, we probably think about promises. And it's true, covenants do involve making promises. But it's more than that. It's about entering into an agreement with somebody or forming a partnership or a relationship with somebody else. Perhaps the best example that we see around us in modern day times of a covenant is the covenant of marriage.
Will you marry me? Yes, I will!
When two people get married, they enter into an agreement, into a relationship, and they make commitments to one another by saying vows or making promises to one another.
I will always love you, Kenny! I'll always love you, Bobby!
The promises that you make to one another in a marriage covenant are meant to last forever. Quite often people will say, "Till death do us part." And so they are very serious promises that you make, and those commitments that you make to each other are to last forever and are only to be between those two people. Throughout history, God has made covenants with many different people. He made one with Noah, and he made one with Abraham, and then with the entire nation of Israel. And he also made a covenant with King David. And he made these covenants with these people and with the nation of Israel in an attempt to restore the relationship that he had with mankind. Because at the beginning of the world in the Garden of Eden, God had that partnership. He had that relationship with man. And when we sinned, we were separated from God. And so all these covenants that God made throughout history were to try and restore that relationship. And none of them really worked out very well. And that's why when Jesus came, he said, "I am bringing a new covenant." And the new covenant was sealed with the blood of Jesus. He gave up his life. He paid our part so that we could have that relationship with God. And that relationship that we can have with God has a lot of similarities to what we were talking earlier about a marriage covenant. And so here's our question for today. And discuss this with your family. How is our relationship with God similar to the marriage covenant relationship that two people enter into together? Well, kids, that's all I have for today, and I look forward to the time when we can meet again together in person and we can learn about Jesus together. Have a great week.